Montana Jordan confirms Georgie and Mandy's first marriage's official replacement for George. Hello everyone, my name is Alana. Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And give this video a like. Up this article is part of a directory. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. Release date, cast, story, trailer, and everything we know about the young Sheldon spinoff. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage will replace George with someone new, and Montana Jordan confirms who it will be. Aside from Sheldon's move to California, the young Sheldon finale was defined by arguably the biggest tragedy for the Coopers, the unexpected loss of its patriarch. Per the Big Bang Theory canon, George passed away around the same time that Sheldon started his postgraduate studies at Caltech. Despite that, the franchise will continue with Jordan and Emily Osment's upcoming Young Sheldon sequel, Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly in light of the next installment in the evolving Big Bang Theory franchise, Jordan essentially confirms that Mandy's father, Jim McAllister, Will Sasso, will be George's replacement in the narrative. Georgie's father-in-law, who was introduced in Young Sheldon Season 6, will provide Sheldon's brother with the fatherly love that he lost when George died of a heart attack. Read the full quote below. On the heels of George's unexpected death in Young Sheldon, the prequel explored how every member of his family dealt with the loss. Mary started clinging to her faith, Sheldon tried dissociating, and Missy lashed out. Among everyone, however, Georgie's process was barely shown, something that Georgie and Mandy's first marriage can change. Instead of wallowing in his sorrow, George's eldest took over and organized all the preparations needed for his funeral. Now that the new show has time to focus on Georgie's feelings about his dad passing away, he will need someone who can support him, and that's Jim. While Mandy's mom, Audrey, treats Georgie as a no-good addition to their clan, Jim welcomes him and appreciates all the effort he puts into taking care of his wife and daughter while also looking after Mary, Missy, and Mima. Considering Jim and George's friendship in Young Sheldon, their similarities were already highlighted. Because of this, it will be easier for Georgie to turn to his new father-in-law for whatever he needs. In any case, the show has already hinted that they will develop a great dynamic moving forward. While Mandy's mom, Audrey, treats Georgie as a no-good addition to their clan, Jim welcomes him and appreciates all the effort he puts into taking care of his wife and daughter while also looking after Mary, Missy, and Mima. As someone who adored Lance Barger as George, I was devastated to see young Sheldon lose him. Even though the prequel waited until the very end to tackle his death, it was still sad. At the very least, however, the Big Bang Theory prequel handled his death and subsequent funeral expertly. However, while much has been said about how Sheldon and Missy dealt with the tragedy, it's great that the upcoming Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage is giving Georgie the space to process his grief with a solid support system in Jim. Based on what we've seen from Sasso's character thus far, he's a solid family man who is also dealing with his overbearing wife. The situation sounds similar to what George underwent with Mary. This time, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage has more time to deal with his parental abilities as he mentors Georgie. Perhaps he could even help Georgie deal with some of the issues of his own marriage. While there are so many external factors at play in the new show, at its core, it's about Georgie and Mandy's relationship. Knowing both Audrey and their daughter, Jim is uniquely positioned to give Georgie tips on how to deal with both of them. Mandy has a contentious relationship with her mother. She has some tendencies to be like her, something that we've seen multiple times in Young Sheldon. Knowing both Audrey and their daughter, Jim is uniquely positioned to give Georgie tips on how to deal with both of them. Their dynamic is also a great way to develop a healthy male relationship in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. One of the biggest challenges of Young Sheldon was to rehabilitate George's image. As established in the Big Bang Theory, he was supposed to be a no-good father who didn't care about his family. The prequel had to flesh out the character to ensure that he wasn't simply a one-dimensional player in Sheldon's childhood. I love this change, even though it created so many plot inconsistencies. While I think these changes were warranted, Jim can be better than George in Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, simply because the writers don't have to adhere to any preconceived notion about him. The new show can simply depict Jim as a devoted family man who loves his wife and daughter. Endearing him further is how Jim accepts his new son-in-law to the family, despite how Georgie and Mandy's relationship started. Beyond his impact on the McAllister family, knowing that he paves the way for George and Mary's son to eventually be the Tire King of Texas makes Jim all the more important in Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.